difficult is to scout a Miami team that has so many new players and a new manager and everything else, and especially considering the importance of the game?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we know going into it, there's going to be a few question marks in terms of personnel for them, in terms of tactics because of the personnel. I think the tactics change a little bit depending on who is on the field. So you try to cover all bases on that front. But it's going to be a difficult game for sure, regardless of who's on the field for them, especially for them coming off of the last game against Cruzul and how it finished. So they're going to be right up for it.
Is there a key for you or something you're going to try to rely on if you see Messi standing over a free kick, like against Cruzul on Friday, to try to improve the probability of you saving it?
Listen, there's a reason why he's considered the best, one of the best. We talk about trying not to give away silly free kicks, trying to avoid those positions that, if at all possible. So, and if there is one, then you put your faith and trust in the wall to hopefully get a touch on it. And then if not, you see where the chips fall and you need to go.
For another story, do you have a favorite Messi memory from his career that stands out to you? I'm sorry, I have to ask it. That's for another story.
Want to tell him?
I know what might not be your favorite.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my favorite.
It doesn't have to be that one.
There's for me, it's an appreciation of what he's done over the course of his career. It's an appreciation of his ability to perform at the highest level for so long, consistently. The things he can do on the field, it's pretty remarkable. And so, we're going to go into the game with confidence, believing in our group and our team. We know that when we're at our best, we're a very good team.
You watched the game on Friday night?
I did, yes.
So what was going through your mind as a goalkeeper, as having been in that situation when he was stepping up to take that free kick? What did you think was going to happen?
Exactly what did happen. I think everyone thought the same thing, where the stars were aligning for a perfect finish to his debut in terms of all the hype that has been going on around his announcements, around his signing, coming to Major League Soccer, coming to this country in terms of lifting the sport itself, and to then have his debut capped off the way it did. There was no doubt in my mind it was probably going to look back on that.
What do you think your communication is going to have to be like while he's on the field? Yes, against Cruzul, we saw Salcedo, the center back, their left back, and their central midfield. They're all controlling where he would be. How important is that going to be from your end as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I mean, it's of course where I can help and talk to those guys in front of me. It's going to certainly have to come from our center back, our fullbacks, our center midfielders, and just everybody. It's going to take a collective effort. It's not down to one guy. It's not down to two guys, three. It's literally going to take a collective effort, just because there'll be moments where he's not involved, and within 3-4 seconds he's pulled off a moment of brilliance, and now you're sprinting back towards your own goal and tracking runners, trying to defend across, whatever it may be. And so we have to make sure that we're switched on and alert at all times.
And then your emotions of facing Tata again, and Joseph as well, but certainly Tata was the first time for you to see him. You're going to see him on the other sideline. Talk about like what you expect from Miami. It should be something at least that his team could provide, knowing that you played under him.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him once or twice when he was in Mexico, in the U.S. We played against Mexico and whatnot, and so we will certainly have an understanding of how he likes to play and how he wants his team to play. Again, I think that changes with certain personnel that's on the field, but ultimately, we shared exciting moments, exciting memories here in Atlanta. It would be certainly good to see him, but at the end of the day, we're going down there trying to get a result.
And finally, I don't recall seeing you ever put a guy on a post on a free kick from about 25 out. Is that something that you would consider?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if the moment presents itself, it's something that you see. You know, some teams certainly go that route. Others not so much. I think it's a bit of cat and mouse a little bit, because what you don't want is put someone on a post and then have 4 of their attacking players go stand literally right in front of you. So it needs to be something that happens quickly if it does happen. But you know, that's something that we'll talk about and look at as we get closer to the win.
How do you kind of keep, the other guys on the team from getting distracted by the messy talk going into this match and the reunion with Tata and just kind of focusing on the main objective?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. You know, it's exciting. Of course, when you get to play against one of the best players in the world, if not the best, right? And so that part is exciting. But when we get on that plane to go down there, it's about going down there to get a result. It's about going down there for work and being focused and concentrating for however long we need to in terms of 90 minutes, penalties, whatever it may be. We have to be ready for that. And so then afterwards, you shake hands and there's certainly a respect level. I think that goes both ways. But you know, for us, it's about being focused and understanding the objective and going down there.
Have you had any interactions with Messi off the pitch? Like, have you talked to him at all or interacted with him at all?
No, just on the field. You know, and hopefully Tuesday night's result could be better than the last 2.
One more to Doug, and then we'll go to Zoom.
Have you worked any more facing penalty kicks this week? Because the tournament, as you know, has
it's something, of course, you look at and you go over and you know, you want guys that are going up there confidently to take those, and I think we certainly have that.
Do you put extra scouting because penalty kick tendencies for the opponent?
I mean, you do your normal research and video and whatnot, but you know, it is what it is.
Do you tend to take anything written down with you?
There's a possibility for that. I know obviously we've seen viral videos in different tournament situations throughout the years with different goalkeepers and whatnot. But yeah, something to look forward to.
All right, Gabe, we got time for 3 or 4 on Zoom.
Yeah, we got 3 questions we're going to go to on Zoom. We're going to start with John Lupo, then we'll go to Jonathan Siegel, and we'll finish with Kyle Bond. So, John, your microphone is open, please.
Thank you, Gabriel. Brad, just 2-part question. First of all, you were talking about the shootout. Do you like the rule that states you go straight to the shootout if it's tied after 90 minutes? Would you prefer to see 2 15-minute halves played, then the shootout? And the second part of my question is, as someone who's been in this league a long time, you've obviously, I'm sure, have at least seen highlights of some of the action from the tournament that from the last 3 or 4 days. Do you feel like with where soccer was in the USA when you started with the national team and with MLS and how the league has grown and all the players that have come in to enhance the league, do you feel like that this is an opportunity for MLS to show that it's closed the gap with Liga MX?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the first part of the question, you know, I don't know. I'll let you know if it comes to that, come tomorrow night, in terms of going straight to penalties without the 2 extra time periods, if you will. And so, yeah, it's, you know, I don't know. It's certainly exciting, especially when the games get late into the night, and I'm eager to get to sleep. It makes it a lot easier to get to bed a little quicker. But in terms of how much the league has grown, it's been tremendous. And I think, obviously, the Messi signing, the attention that is now on Major League Soccer worldwide, that spotlight has started to shine a little bit brighter. And I think it's a real opportunity for the league to to really take the next step in moving forward.
All right, let's go to Jonathan Siegel, please.
Thanks, Gabe. And hey, Brad, Jonathan here from MLSsoccer.com. Just wanted to ask about the incentives behind this tournament. There's Champions League or Champions Cup, I should say, spots on the line, prize money, player and club. How do you square that? What's your perspective on just this tournament and what it offers? We're all experiencing it in this expanded fashion for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, there's obviously a lot at stake, and probably the most important being a trophy at the end of it, and the Champions League spot, as you mentioned, and so that is that's hugely important in terms of having that opportunity to put the club on that pedestal, and so. We've always said anytime we're in a cup competition, we want to find ourselves competing for trophies, and this is another opportunity for that.
All right, last question is going to go to Kyle Bond, please.
All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate the time, Gabriel and Brad. Thank you, Kyle Bond from the Sporting News. Being here in Fort Lauderdale on Friday. The crowd, you can't really call it a hostile environment because there wasn't a ton of aggression towards the opposition, but there was a clear buzz anticipating a particular thing. Is there any experience that you've had in your career that you can kind of draw from to handle that kind of atmosphere or a ruckus crowd, an excited crowd, but not really an aggressive one?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky enough to play in some pretty fantastic atmospheres in terms of size of crowd, in terms of noise level, and that ultimately then comes down to the understanding of what we've been doing the last few days in training. You're not always going to be able to hear the guy next to you. You're not always going to be able to shout 30 yards, 40 yards, and have someone slide this way. Or tuck in or tell them there's a man on or whatnot. And in those moments, that's where we need to have the understanding of what's happening, what we're trying to do with the ball, what we're trying to do defensively, and make sure we're aware of our surroundings on the field. And so, as I said, these types of atmospheres, these are what you want as a player. These intense atmospheres, it certainly makes for an exciting game on the field.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brad.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.